Okay, so far our travels in Alaska have been pretty direct. We had 3 things on a calendar that we really couldn't alter. And one was we made reservations at Denali National Park back January 1st for mid-July. So that was on a calendar. Then we found out we were going to be able to join with Alaska Missions for dip net fishing in Soldotna. That was the end of July. The other is here at Palmer, and that is the State Fair. And that is mid-August. So our route was really direct. Whenever we entered from Chicken, we came to Tok, and we went up to Delta Junction, up to Fairbanks, back down, made our reservations at Denali, came back down past Talkeetna, went down to past Anchorage and onto the Kenai Peninsula. After we finished at Soldotna, we went down to Homer, then came back up to Seward and Whittier. And then we had some time before the State Fair. So what we did was we came up and we went all the way over and came down to Valdez. And that was an awesome thing. This drive is just amazing. But the thing is, we now have a little bit of time before the State Fair. So what we've done is we've come back across. State Fair starts day after tomorrow. And so we had to double back on this one section. It's a gorgeous section. You're looking at glaciers and everything. So it's nice seeing it from both directions. But we are here at Palmer. We're going to be going to the Independence Gold Mine State Historic Site. And then we're going to the State Fair. And then we're going to come back and we'll take this section. The reason we're going back up to Delta Junction instead of the Tok Cutoff, this is marked as a scenic drive, whereas this one is not. And so we're opting to go on that one. Hi, and welcome to Two Tired Teachers.
We're back near Palmer, just outside of Anchorage.
And we came back this direction for 2 reasons. One is the Independence Mine State Historic Site.
And the other is the Alaska State Fair.
Kettle corn. And, it's one of those things we didn't want to just kind of stay in place and wait for over a week when we knew the salmon were running down at Valdez. And so we are very thankful we went down there, filled the freezer. But gotta tell you, if you're in this area and you've been watching our Alaska on a Budget, you know we haven't done a lot of excursions, but these were 2 that were well worth it.
Yes.
Okay, having to double back from Palmer, we went from Palmer to Glen Allen, and from Glen Allen down to Valdez, back
in
Glen Allen, back over to Palmer, and then back to Glen Allen before we start going north on the Richardson Highway.
It's a beautiful drive with stunning mountains.
And waterfall and glaciers.
Lots of glaciers.
Lots of glaciers, and closer than we've seen anywhere on this trip.
Yes.
And like we mentioned, the waterfalls, there are so many on that drive down to Valdez. And so, and just the drive itself.
It's a gorgeous drive.
And so doubling back,
you may not want to because it's not the most efficient use of gas, but for us, the State Fair only happens between this time and this time, and we wanted to go.
And the salmon were running in Valdez.
Yes, so I mean,
it was just the way things worked out, but seeing it in different lights, seeing it in sun and in clouds, it just made it. I'm not sorry we've seen it several different times because of all of Alaska is gorgeous, but that is some that is truly stunning. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Mylena, what are your impressions of Independence Mine State Historic Site?
I'm thrilled that they're doing restoration on more of the buildings. It was very interesting to go in and read about the people and the work and mining silver, platinum, and gold. It was not easy. They worked hard 7 days a week.
Well, and one of my favorite things was that they had the equipment and things that was actually used here
Yes.
on display.
Yes.
And then they had tons of pictures
Yes.
that were taken while the mine was active. And being able to actually walk inside some of the buildings. But you can tell that many of them have just collapsed from disrepair. And so, yeah, it is really good to see them doing restoration.
The history is fascinating, and it is definitely a part of Alaskan history. They built the mess hall. They started on July 3rd, 1938, maybe. Could have been a different year, but around there. And it was snowing that day.
Yeah, we are at Hatcher's Pass, and so it is a pass, and the elevation here is over like 3,500.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's a lot closer to the sun, closer to the snow. But it is, they have pictures so that the rubbish that you see
Yes.
of the old buildings, the what's left, you can tell, oh, that was that building.
Yes.
And so it was very interesting, and then being able to get out and walk around all of that and just see all of, like Marlena said, the history. You know you're walking through history. You know you're walking through historic buildings, etc. And so...
And they gave little anecdotes about different things. They told you unimportant but trivial things like the mess hall, the basement of the mess hall, there was a bin that held 10 tons of potatoes. These were people who worked hard and who ate a lot.
Yeah. And so, yeah, a lot. Now, there are tours that you can take that are guided, and they...
They aren't right now, though.
But
but I think it's because they're doing the restoration. They didn't charge an entrance fee. There's a parking fee, but not an entrance fee to the historical site.
And when those tours are available, then they can take you into some of the
Yes.
other buildings,
Yes.
etc. But, guys, just coming up here and walking around, if you're a flatlander like us, this wasn't the elevation where you can't get any air.
No.
But when you're this far north and you're this high and then a cloud comes over, you feel it.
Yes.
So anyway, coming up here and seeing like the rail cars and the tracks, they've restored parts of
Yes.
that. But it is a very, very, very interesting place, and if you are in this area, it is well worth your time to come and spend a little time here and walk around and read about the history. August 16th, and we are waiting to buy our tickets for the Alaskan State Fair. Worn shorts to the Texas State Fair in October.
But here in August.
Okay, we have just left the Alaska State Fair. Are actually still sitting in the parking lot, but we filmed as we walked out, and I have a feeling that the wind may prevent us from using that one. So, it is a fun state fair.
It's much smaller than the one in Texas, but that's to be expected, I think.
But it has, there are some things that are just common across the board. You go to a state fair, there's going to be cotton candy, there's going to be corny dogs, turkey legs,
Ice cream.
and then there are going to be the animals, the exhibits there with the FFA, and petting area, not petting zoo as such, but things like that. That's a Diet Dr. Pepper. But then there are things that are unique. And we have Big Tex. Alaska has lumberjacks.
Yes.
And we were able to get in on part of that show. We didn't
Yes.
get the whole thing, but we were there for a good part of it. And that was a fun thing to watch. I'm glad we were able to be there.
Yeah, they did some carvings with chainsaws.
They had log rolling. They had tree climbing.
Yes. And they're fast.
They
for
are.
that.
They are really good at what they do. You'll notice that we are not dressed exactly like for the Texas State Fair in October where we wear shorts.
Unless it happens to snow or get really cold.
Or be
in
something
October.
really, yeah, it does some weird stuff with the State Fair. But this is August 16th, and folks, the people who live here were bundled up this morning. This is opening day, and we were here at 11 a.m. when the gates opened. And then we saw a juggler who was an amazing showman.
Yes.
And just a lot of fun. He did some really cool stuff, neat stuff. Got the audience involved, which is always a lot of fun. But just walking around seeing the exhibits, we went into the kids zone where they had some neon or glow-in-the-dark fish, and that was interesting. So the other thing I really like about this, I'll show you a picture of the little map, and that is they have it divided by colors. We're parked in the purple zone,
Yes.
and then you go in the purple gate, and you go down the purple corridor, and there's a yellow, green, red,
Yes.
yellow. I said yellow. Only one yellow. But anyway, and so then you can tell,
Yeah, you know if you're going out the right gate to get to your car.
and then you can also look things up, and it will
Yes.
tell you which
So you know where to walk, which one to walk down, so you have to go down every one looking for the right.
yeah, trying to find whatever food or exhibit you're looking for. And so I really liked the way they had that laid out. And then there is a midway, which you would expect, that did not hold a huge draw for us.
No, and it didn't have many participants. I think probably part of the reason is this morning I heard a man say there were wind gusts of 47 miles per hour, and I think midway rides wouldn't be terribly safe with that much wind.
Yeah, it was extremely windy this morning, but so our early morning we were looking for places to hunker down.
Yes.
Get
Anywhere
out
where
of the
there was
wind.
out of the wind.
But anyway, it's been so much fun, and like we said, this is opening day, August 16th, and it runs through September 2nd, I think, something
Yeah,
like that.
I don't know when Labor Day is this year, but it's through that and a day or two beyond.
And so if you're in Alaska during State Fair time, this is in Palmer, which is
Near
east of Anchorage. And so it's just a lot of fun. And, you get to see some things that may not be happening in your state fair. And one other thing we want to make sure that we say here, and that is, with the state fair, buying tickets online saves money. However, when we started to do that, Mylena had seen where some people had gotten scammed before out of over $100.
Yes.
And so I don't know exactly what the convenience fee was, but we decided that we would rather pay $3 a piece more
Yes.
and know that we had our tickets there the day that we were, and it was opening day. It was just wonderful. So you could save a few more dollars that way, but man, what a day.
Yes.
But we're old and we walked so much, but we had such a good time. And we hope you have enjoyed our look at Independence Mine State Historic Site and
the Alaska State Fair.
as always, thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.